everyone. Welcome back to another special interview in CHAKDE Frontend interviews. So today we have a student from college. So he's pursuing BCA. His path he's very much popular on the Instagram as well. So he create content on the web dev as well. So we are going to interview Parth basically. So with that, without wasting much time, let me introduce Parth. Hey Parth, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. What about you?
Yeah, likewise, I'm doing great, man. So, why don't you tell something about yourself before we get into the interview?
Okay, yeah. So I'm Parth, and I'm currently pursuing my BCA, and I am a front-end developer, and I'm proficient with JavaScript, React, Next.js, and also TypeScript. And with backend, I know technologies like Express, Node.js, and also Supabase. And apart from this, I also like sharing some content on Instagram in my free time, just some basic web development tutorials, project based. So yeah, that's it about
Awesome.
me.
Great. So, are you excited about today's interview?
I am pumped, very
Perfect.
excited.
Awesome. So, I'm just sharing your link. Can you open your browser and share your screen? So, before we get started, everyone, there are a few things I wanted to highlight. One, please like and basically share with your friends before you get started. Second, most important thing, please code along with the interviewer, right? So, in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a problem statement. Please pause the video, actually try to attempt yourself, and then see the solution basically which is there on this particular video. So watch this video till then. There's a lot of interesting questions that we are going to cover. So with that part, so here's your first problem statement on the board. So what we are going to do, we know that there are lot of problem solving which are asked for people who are early in their career in interviews. So this problem statement is quite similar. So what you are expected to build a function which is called intersect. What you need to do, given are two arrays which are sorted arrays, you have to find the intersection of them. So this is what
Okay,
we wanted to get.
okay, all right. So we want to find the intersection. I'll create a function called intersect, and I will copy this. Okay. So we have a sorted array.
Yeah.
So can pass only two arrays, or there can be more?
So they are just two arrays as of now.
Okay, so I'll call this array 1 and array 2. So um,
Feel free to share your thought process as well while you're
yeah,
coding.
तो मैं आपसे कुछ मांग सकता हूँ सचमुच में अब मैं मांगूंगा और आप मानेंगे नहीं तो मानेंगे लेकिन अगर करेंगे नहीं तो पक्का करेंगे
okay, so we have to create an intersect function and we
Yeah.
have given two arrays, right?
Yes.
So we have array 1. So what I'm thinking is I'll loop over that array and uh, I might need a little bit of hint here.
Okay, I can. So what's the thought process basically which is coming before I give a hint?
So if like we have sorted arrays, so if we loop over it, so we have also like duplicated elements I can see.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we can like store these elements in a set so that everything will be unique,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can loop over it and then check that if they have like same values.
Okay.
So
So
if I can
in
put
in
this
that case,
array into a set,
you lose the duplicate value. If you make a
yes,
set, you lose the duplicate value,
yes,
right? So I understand the solution that you're coming up with. You are saying that hey, I will create a set of one of them and loop through the other, and we'll check if that particular value is there in the set or not, right? So that's
right,
what you're saying.
yes,
Probably that solution can work. Your challenge was only around hey, basically I there are multiple duplicate. So instead of set, if I say you create something else where you can maintain the count, and leverage that while you are doing something. What do you
Yeah,
say?
yeah, yeah, that's right. We can do that. So, so I have to loop over one array, and if like there are any elements, I just count plus plus if there are any duplicates.
Mhm.
Actually, I'm going a lot nervous right now.
No worries on that, man. Take your time. It's okay. That happens.
I'm really sweating.
No worries. So I'm happy to help you, right? So
Yeah,
basically, what we are saying, you have two arrays. For one, you have
yeah.
to create a kind of a object where you can create, like maintain the count and whatnot, right?
Okay. So I
Can we
have to
try?
create an object.
So if you can create an object where you can keep the key and maintain the count,
Okay.
that will solve your problem, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So while looping through this array, whatever the value is, I'll make it a key,
Hmm.
and then I can if I encounter that element again with that key, then I'll just count plus plus, right?
Perfect. Sounds good.
Okay. So let's say array one of I. If that object has array I as its key, then I will do something. So I will basically do count plus plus. I will uh, so no. That array I. So let's say first element array I.
So I think your count is actually stored in the object itself, isn't it?
Yes,
Leverage that.
like in the object itself, my count is in the object.
So there are multiple keys. You can't just maintain a single variable which is called count,
Yes,
right?
that's right.
Somewhere along with the values inside the object itself, you have to maintain that, isn't it?
Yeah. So maybe here.
Or you wanted to maintain it outside. You have an object, you have a key pair value. In
Yeah,
the value, can't you keep the count
in the value.
so that your
Yes.
life becomes easy?
So like here only, right?
So your initial value is objari. What is
Yeah.
that? That's a value at a particular index,
Yes.
at a key, at a respective key. Can't
So I
we?
can make
Uh,
this dynamic.
it's already a dynamic, right? So what we are going to do? So you can use the value and do a plus plus on top of it, isn't it?
Okay. So like on the value itself.
So how you are going to store the data? Example, you will have a key called one, and the value will be one. Key will
Yeah.
be two, where it has two occurrences. The value will be two ultimately. So
Yeah.
key is three. Ultimately, your value is going to be one. Similarly, key will be four. Its value will be two because there are two occurrences, right? So
Right.
what you're maintaining? You're maintaining the count as a value to the key in the same object. So the increment should go to the same value, isn't it?
Uh, I'm not sure what that means.
So ultimately, how your object is going to look like, the one with the first occurrence. You have two times, you have three one time, and you have four two times. This is how it is going to look like, isn't
Right.
it?
Yeah.
Now, what is the two representing the value side? It's a count, isn't it?
Yes.
So can't you leverage that? So consider you are creating this object.
So I'm storing the value of the count inside it, right? In
Yes.
this case.
So for the first occurrence, it will be value will be one.
Yes.
Next time the same occurrence come, it will become the existing value plus 1.
Yes.
Next time it will become existing value plus 1.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. Go ahead.
Okay. So currently, let's say we have that going over here, and object array I, let's say 0 to 0 will 1.
So on line number 14, what is the value that you wanted to get? How you will get the existing value? It's not a count. How you will get an existing value at a key?
Existing value of the key.
At a key, like in this case, A or I is your key. How do you get the value, existing value in the object at that level?
So like let's say we have this one over here,
Yeah,
and then this will give us one, right?
one, which is key. How do you get the
Yeah.
value, existing value?
Over this side or this side?
Right side. Obviously, you need the right side value, right? Right side is the value.
If we need the value, we can just do this.
Can't you do plus 1 to this?
Yeah, right. That's right.
Right? And if that does not exist, what you are going to do?
If that does not exist, I will assign it to 1.
Okay. So you created your object over here. So I think there is some syntactical error. Just fix that. And
Yeah.
then think about, hey, your object is created with the right set of count. Now, what's next?
Object is created. Yeah. So we have the object created. Now we can loop over that object.
Mhm.
First, we have to do this same for array 2, right?
So you wanted to loop through the object. Why?
No,
Hmm.
like I have to do the same thing for array 2 as well, right?
Why? Why you wanted to do for the array 2? Why you wanted to create both of them as an object?
We have to now loop over the second array and check, right?
Yeah, simply.
Okay, so we have the, so it will also give duplicates as well with that, the
Yes.
intersection function.
Yes.
Yeah. So if
What?
array 2, so I have to check, match it. So I have to match this line with the object.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If array 2 I, uh, object dot
How do we
use.
look up? How do we look up in an object? If we have to check if a key is there in an object, how do you do that?
If we have to check, we just do this like that.
Okay. Well, so now you are able to compare that. Hey, this exists. Now, if that matches, then what you are going to do?
uh, I have to create a new array,
Okay.
and then if that exists, I'll push that element.
Mm-hmm.
So that should work, I guess.
Just double think. Does it has any caveat?
I think it will not push the duplicates. No, let me check. So if array
It
to
will
I
not, or it will do something else.
0, Mhm. So we have two, let's say we have two here, and it will compare it to obj2. Obj2 here. Okay, so this line, I think this is the problem.
It's a problem or some condition is missing.
We have to return the result. So you're saying there's problem with this condition, right?
This is partial condition, don't you think? Example, in this case, how what will the outcome that you will see? What is the expected outcome with the current code?
Okay, so let me dry run it.
Yeah.
So the first element is 2. We will
Mm-hmm.
check if 2 is equal to obj2, and obj2 is 2.
Okay.
So it will compare it with the value.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is the problem.
That's a problem. That is one problem. What else? You have to compare, or you have to just see if the key exists or not. What do you want it to do?
Yeah, if that particular key exists in this object.
Then you have to modify this condition. That is one. You have to enhance the condition. Then we will talk the other part.
Okay,
Let's modify
okay.
this condition.
I think we can just do this. So
Okay.
if this element exists as a key,
Uh-huh. As a key,
so
which is fair enough.
yeah, so
So
if it
outcome in this
exists,
case will be your 2, 2, 4, which is correct. But this will fail if I remove, say, suppose in the intersection below, I remove a 2 from the first set. So you have only single 2 in the first set, and you have two in the second set, the second
right,
array. So the
right,
outcome will still be same, which will be 2, 2, 4 in your case. And as a
yeah,
matter of fact, it will be 2, 2, 4, which is incorrect because there is only single 2 and single 4 which are actually present in both of these cases. So what are you missing actually?
yeah. So the output here will be 224, which it should be 24.
Yes, exactly. So you stored your count for some reason, isn't it?
Yeah,
Are you leveraging your count?
I think what I am doing here is accessing the value of this object, of this
Oh no,
key,
it's
particular key.
you are checking if there is some value or
Oh,
not.
oh yeah, if there is that key available. Okay, so
So
if that key is available,
hmm.
and then we have to check how many times that element is there.
So tell me at line number 22 for 1, what will be the value? What will be the thing that you are checking in if? So if, what is the value for the first occurrence?
It will be uh, 2.
2, right?
Yeah,
So for the next occurrence, again it will be 2.
right.
We have counted it once. Should it, don't you think it should be next time it should reduce?
Yeah, it should reduce like this value over here.
Yeah. And how do you reduce that? And where do you reduce? Okay.
So we are reducing it here, and then, but I think it will still give the same output.
Is that the case? Let's give a shot, execute the code, and see if that what's the outcome that you get.
There is some error.
Intersect is not defined. The function, is there an issue with the naming?
Yeah, just check. Okay, that's array one, array one, array one.
So that's a key, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to assign
Okay.
value to value.
What's the issue?
I think you are right. You're doing something correct. You have one more place similar code.
Yeah, that
You are not,
passes.
no, you are
Yeah,
not printing it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
have to console.log, isn't it?
Yeah, that.
Now try to increase and add extra 2 in the first array. 2 times 2. Execute, run.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
So
works.
overall it works, but there is one caveat in the entire solution. You missed a very important hint that was given, which is these two arrays are in shorted format. Like what I meant by, you are not leveraging the benefit which is already given, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah,
So maybe the time complexity over is higher side because you're not using the benefit. So if you have
yeah.
to modify it in order to optimize it, what change will you make and what will be your approach?
Hmm. So this, so like this array over here contains 2000, but this array doesn't go beyond 4, so we can stop checking it maybe after that.
That is one, but still it does not add any value. So because the first is the object that you have, you are not iterating how you are going to compare. You are going to look up, right? Ultimately, you are going
Yeah,
to iterate and do a lookup. You don't know what is the highest value. There can be a number of interesting things that can come.
I'm not really sure. I'm really bad at data structures and stuff.
No problem. So it's not a data structure. Okay. So I will tell you that's an interesting thing. So did you use any, you created any tree, linked list, or any fancy thing that you have used till now?
No, no, not really.
No. Then why do we call it data structures
I
as an
mean,
explicit problem
algorithm.
statement?
It's an algorithm
So,
only.
very important thing. This is a learning for everyone. Whenever we say that, hey, for the front end developer, DSA is not asked, I will say most of the cases not. But this is a problem solving which is expected. Hey, you don't have to worry about try, tree, data structure as it. But if you are asked to code a simple problem statement, you should be able to do that, right? So, data structures, creating data structures and leveraging that is on top of it, not a P0. No worries on that. I want everyone to try out the problem statement with the condition that you already have a sorted array. So how can you use this, like benefit from this particular condition and try to optimize your loop probably? So just go, I can give you a hint, whoever is watching. Can you think around two pointer approach? Probably, right? You will be able to get with a better outcome. Great. Chalo, I will bring an interesting problem statement. The next one. So I will give you a code part.
Okay, okay,
And I want you to find the bug in this particular code. So maybe I will do one thing. Wait, I'm going to give you an interesting code set, which contains. So this is the code base which I'm going to give you. That's already a function to create and show a model. Your job is find bug in code and fix it. So what it does, it creates a dynamic model
okay,
using vanilla JavaScript. It actually provide you a pop-up kind of a model where you have an option automatically when you should execute this script, it should show a pop-up. Second, there is a cross button, you click on close, it should basically dismiss the model that you see. That is the intent of this problem statement. That's the intent of the code, right? Now,
Okay.
try to figure it out where could be the problem in this particular code base, due to which it is not actually showing you a pop-up.
Okay. So we are creating a div element and attaching it a class name of model. Then we are creating the content and attaching the class name. Then and model content dot append child. Okay, so it is not actually showing up, right?
It's not showing up. So if you copy this entire code and go in a new tab or probably in the console of the same window and try to execute it, you will see the pop-up is not visible, because at the last line, if you see the last line of the code, it is executing show model. So ideally it should create a dynamic model, because entire code is vanilla JavaScript, right? So it should
Right,
automatically create the DOM element and basically showcase the content as per the code.
right.
So try to figure it out. So that's how we grow in industry. You have to review a PR, a code of your colleague who have written, and you have to identify a bug and try to suggest some suggestions and fix it, isn't it?
Right. So
Let's
first
do it.
thing I can see is the style of this element is never set to block.
Okay,
It is always display none.
go ahead, fix it.
Yeah. So we do not have an event listener for opening that model. So I'm guessing that that by default it will be open, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So we are creating a div here and this. Okay, so we have this style object here. Like it's not an
Mm-hmm.
object, it's a template literal,
Yeah.
and we are assigning it to text content.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if this will work. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not familiar with the syntax, but if I have to fix it,
Mm-hmm.
uh, let's see, style element dot text content. So maybe we can do document dot document element dot style.
Okay. You assigned a style like this.
Not really. Uh, document element. What was so I forgot this common property.
Okay, no worries. Help me out one thing. So in your page, you have a like which tag is there in which we write the styles.
Which tag is there?
Yeah, which under which tag we write the above styles.
Uh, like in the root?
So the content that you see is just a text. Those are classes properties, CSS properties. You write these CSS properties in some HTML tag, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is that HTML tag?
So we have the model
Oh no. So the HTML tag in which you write your CSS properties, like
style. That's the
style
style
tag.
attribute.
The problems over here, if you try to notice, you are actually adding, if you do a control Z to the previous state,
Yeah.
the previous one, the original. Okay. So over here, if you notice, you're adding the content to a div. Don't you think?
Yes.
It should be.
It should be. We are adding it to a div.
So do you wanted to add styles to a div? Wrap with a div?
No,
You wanted to wrap your styles with?
like wrapping means
When I
I,
say when you go in the head, so you write your style as a tag and then you write your CSS property inside that. So what is
yeah.
the
So
tag that you use?
document dot head.
Okay, so do a control Z once again. Go back. Okay, scroll down. So why are you creating this div on line number 65? What is the purpose of this div?
Okay, so we are creating this div, but we are
Do
just
you
for
wanted to
style
create
purposes.
a div or you wanted to create something else over here?
Okay, let me see. If we want to create something else,
So ultimately, how you want your code to look like? So copy this entire thing, go into the new tab, open Google and get into the console and just execute this.
in the console,
Yeah, hit enter. Now go into elements and see how this entire thing is added. So that will be added in your head, isn't it?
yeah,
Something in the head. So can you scroll below? There is something else. Try to see your head.
yeah, I'm seeing my head, and this is added here like that.
Is it correct?
No, not really.
What should be the right thing?
Okay, so we want to create a style tag here.
Okay.
Can we create it like that?
Why not? It's a DOM element. Just copy everything, go back, reload your browser and execute it again. Oh, it
Okay,
came, but it has some issue. Can you identify why this entire model is not coming?
okay, so probably something wrong here.
Or try inspecting and see like what's the problem. So you seems to have a model, you seems to have a content, but somehow that content is not visible. Why?
Yeah, this content. Let me see the styles.
Try to debug in the element tab itself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is it because of the color? So it's showing up now.
Okay, but the entire model visible, or there is some issue?
What else do we have? I think the entire is visible.
Okay, so can you do one thing? Can you go to google.com, copy this entire code that you have, open google.com,
Yeah,
execute over there.
in the console.
Yeah, yeah. You will execute in the console, right?
I mean, everything we added is showing up, right?
So do you really think everything is there, or can you do one thing? Can you open any other crazy website which you know, maybe something like Medium, or go to any other cool website that you know which has a lot of model pop-up, those kind of a thing?
Okay, let's see. Uh,
Okay, go to Bootstrap, search for a model, click on any of the model, open that live demo. If
yeah,
you
that's
can
right.
go below, if there is any button, scroll down, click on this launch, any one of them. Perfect. Now go into the terminal console. execute the same thing in the console, the code that you've copied. I think something isn't copied properly. Do you see something weird?
Yeah, so it's probably because of the Z index.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Fair enough. Cool. Let's do one more problem. What do you say?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So what we are going to do, I'm going to, so right now you see some of the properties that you have used, like document.create element and lot of those things, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There can always be a chance where that method does not exist and you have to create a similar method. What I meant by, what I want you to create your own custom method for document.get element.
Okay,
So,
document dot get element.
so document.get element, consider this method does not exist. And I have given you a structure of the tree basically, which has ID children, ID children. That's how our DOM tree basically looks like,
Okay,
right? So what you
right.
have to simply do, you have to write your own method get element by ID, where I give the ID, you should be able to return me the node. When I
Okay,
say node, the respective object which contains that particular ID. In short, simple.
okay,
So somewhere you are, it's not exactly the same, but somewhere it is equivalent to the implementation that we have in the browser, right? Which is document.get element by ID. You are able to actually get the
right.
details over here.
So we have children and there can be several nested children inside of it, right?
Yes, correct.
So we are probably dealing with recursion here.
Okay.
So, so it's an object. We have custom tree. Okay, that's not. Children. Okay. Okay, so I'm looping over this,
Okay.
and then if I find the ID, I will
Mm-hmm.
return it. But there could be children inside of it as well.
And which is fair enough. And what if I give you the ID as a root? What will happen?
Yeah, that's right.
So try to think to generalize a problem where you're doing something and something. As you said, recursion, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's leverage it.
So So I have to loop over this object basically, or maybe not loop over this. If I do not find it at first, then I will go through its children, and if I do not find it there, then I will go through its children, right?
Right? Sounds good.
Yeah. If custom tree dot id equal to id, then we will return. So if I find it here, I have to return this whole object.
Whole object. At object at that level, yes.
Okay. We are dealing with recursion, but
So in recursion, there is one important thing to remember. As you said, recursion calling itself. Like calling itself means, are you going to call the get element by ID, or you should do something else over here so that you can call yourself again and again, again and again.
no, I have to call it.
But again, do you really recommend to? You can call it. Go ahead, whatever you would like.
Okay. Custom tree dot id. We will return this. Otherwise, we'll look through its children. And for the first children,
Do you see the problem? You are always starting from same root, current, custom tree. So say
sorry,
suppose
what?
line number 23, you call this method again,
Yeah,
where it is going to check. ID is going to start validating at what level?
like if we are looping through this,
So is it going to loop always from, is it going to loop the children? The next time when you come, is it going to loop the children? Is that the case?
this children, like children of children.
So, but your code line number 19 says always compare with custom tree dot id,
Right.
which is your root node, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you see the problem?
Yeah. Um,
So I want everyone who is watching to try along with it. So it seems like, hey, things are easy. Sometimes when you code yourself, you see a delta. So try making attempt.
This
Okay,
needs to be dynamic.
one hint I can give you.
Yeah.
Probably that can ease if you want. If you wanted to try at your own, all yours.
Okay.
Let me know whenever you need hint. I think one hint over here will be more than enough.
Yeah, I might need hint here.
Okay. So in general, in recursion, start with one thing. Your life will be always easy and sorted. So whatever code that you're writing, try to write that code in a new function.
In a new function.
In a new function and call that function over here. You will see it will automatically start making a difference for you. You will start getting the thought process. So new function, make a new function outside.
Okay. Function, let's say get ID. Okay, and I
So
should
just
implement this logic
paste,
over here.
cut, paste. Now you have to think what variables you need in this particular function. If you are able to get the right set of argument, your life is sorted. So is that the child ID? What the right side was the child ID.
Oh yeah. And we have to call this function over here.
Yeah. Just simply return the get ID and pass the ID. Nothing fancy, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Now the problem statement is right now you have a hard coded custom tree at line number 16, right? It should be
Yeah.
dynamic. If you are able to solve that, you have a solution almost. So in recursion, the important thing is when call yourself, you call yourself with new set of data, don't you think? That's why we call it recursion. If you are calling yourself with the same set of data, you are in an infinite loop.
Yeah.
You call next time with a subset. That's what we call it recursion, isn't it?
So we have to modify it. So we have to pass here the root, the children as well.
Okay. So probably the next tree on which you wanted to iterate on.
Yeah.
Just give a shot.
So
Or
I
it's
think
children or something else. Child of children. Like children of that child nested again. Try to think.
so. We will loop through this, and if we do not, suppose we do not find it in the root,
Yeah.
so we will loop over its children.
Which you are doing at line number 19. Okay.
So we will loop over its children.
What you will get?
Yeah. So child.
Mhm. So line number 20, you will be calling which method? Same method? Or I don't think this method exists. Okay, so now at a high level, you are able to iterate. So this is good, but do you see something is missing? If you execute the code and you're able to get the ID in the next iteration, are you passing down that ID to the previous recursion execution? So in recursion, how it happens? The last loop returns you something, and that is being consumed by n minus one loop. That is being consumed by n minus two loop. That is consumed by nth, right? And you get
Yeah.
it back. So what I meant by you, that is executed finally and written by the first loop that get executed, first function that get executed, right?
Yeah.
So that at line number 28 you can actually get some data.
Line number 28.
It should get some data, right? So for that, your get ID has to return that data, isn't it?
Get ID has to return.
So the base condition that you write, that is going to return for which function? First
Uh,
function or nth function? When I
Sorry,
say
can you
first
repeat?
function call, so when
Yeah.
you write your base condition, which is line number 17,
Yeah.
that is for first function
Yes.
execution or the nth function execution?
For the very first.
For the very first. How
Yes.
recursion works?
Oh, okay. So that is the last.
The last.
Yeah.
That will give the outcome to the previous one.
Yes.
Previous get ID method, which is being called.
Right.
And that should return to your previous one. So somewhere the
At
logic
line
that you
number.
have
So we have to return over here, but
blindly, even if you get the object or not.
no, no. I have to store this inside of a variable. I think
Mhm.
whatever we will get. Let's say element, and then
So what you wanted to return? So you have access to the element at line number 23?
definitely not.
Okay.
So we have to return something.
So you are checking if there is an element or not. If the element is there, then return. Don't you think? As simple. You're almost there, man.
I am
Line
returning it over here, right?
which is the last one, which is right. So you have to
Yeah,
keep on passing the outcome from each method as well to the previous call.
right.
So line number 20, after that, if you just simply say that if the element is there, then return the element. Your job is done, isn't it?
So, okay, if element is there, we will return the element.
Okay, so let's do a small change so that you can execute it because in node document does not exist. So I'm just simply creating a empty object of document so that it does not fail. Cool. Let's try executing this and see if you are able to get the outcome.
No, that's undefined.
So it's
Grand.
undefined. What could be the problem over here?
We will return. I'm not really sure what's the issue here.
Try to debug. A quick one. How do you debug?
Okay.
So it did not go to your
Yeah.
nested children.
Yes, it did not go over here.
Why?
Maybe we have to do this.
Okay. Try executing. Let's see. Sorry, boss.
And that will run in an infinite loop. Okay, let's try to dry run. So in the first iteration, it will not find the loop, so it will go into this condition, and we will
Mm-hmm.
loop over its children. So basically
Mm-hmm.
this, and we will call get ID again.
Oh, okay. Let me give you a small hint. So line number 19, you are using map.
Yes.
Do you want map function first of all? What does map does?
So it loops over the array and it
Okay.
returns a new array.
Do you really need a new array and all sort of thing in this particular case?
No,
Can you simply use a for each? Just do it and see if it makes difference. Try executing your code.
no, that still does not work.
Okay. Try adding console and see if the kind of a value that you're getting, what you can do.
So at first iteration, we are getting this and this.
Second iteration, you got this. The nested, it did not actually went.
Yeah, maybe let's call this child tree and child tree. We go over here. I mean, I'm calling it recursively, so it should loop over its children as well.
Okay. So the next time children, the first time children you got okay, the second okay. Check if it is actually coming at line number 19 in your else condition, where it is going. So add a console at after line number 15 and see what are the child tree that you're getting on every iteration. Isn't it?
Uh, Over here.
Yeah. And maybe comment at line number 21. So you will be able to see like what you are getting in every iteration, isn't it?
Yes,
So let's start from the top. So you got the first one, root.
yeah,
The
we
next
got the root.
iteration, you got two independent. Now, ideally, It should come to the third one.
The third one.
Yeah,
What do you mean
which
the
is
third
nested,
one?
the nested, third nested, which is grandchild one. At that level, it
Yes,
should come.
yes.
What do you think where it got stuck?
I think we are returning it. If we so we are getting out of this function.
Comment it out. Now check. Does it make any difference?
No.
What do you think? Where is the problem then? Try to see in which loop it is going. If it is going if condition, else condition, maybe last a minute. Just give a shot. So if you're if or else, where it is going actually. So don't add in a children, just add at a if else condition, right? So that you can actually see where the execution is going. So it's not a else condition, it is a loop which is inside the children. Else with the ID probably I will say. Just also print child tree dot ID. At that level, what you are getting. Or probably print the child tree itself, the entire child tree. Let's see.
Okay.
So first executed, you got into else
Yes.
with this tree. You went into if condition. Your if condition was successful in one of them.
If condition was successful.
Yep.
So I'm sending the child.id.
So I will tell you. So you have to understand the complications with JavaScript. For what for if you write a return in for each, what it does, right? So all
Yeah.
those small minor things basically that need to be basically has to be looked into. So what I meant by if you store this value, just giving a short result in maybe say that hey you have a let, you have a result, right? Just
Yeah.
keeping it result and whatever you have as an element, just maintain at that level. If you have a result, return it from here, but overall from your for loop you return the result outside. Give a shot if in case this works. So what I meant by when you write a return in for each, it works differently. Give a shot.
Yeah. So for each basically does not return anything. I think
So what did you got?
we still get into the if condition.
You will get into if condition, right? When you are getting into the if condition, can you print your children tree dot id? Go line number 18, print children tree dot id. When these IDs are actually matching, that is what you have to compare. Oh, okay. So can you check one thing? What you're comparing with, is your ID going to change? Man, it's a very silly mistake that is over here. So what you're looking for, grandchild one. You always wanted to look for grandchild one, isn't it?
Yes.
Next time on line number 24, what you're passing?
The ID of the
Line number
child.
24. Why? You wanted to always compare the same constant ID, isn't it?
The same
The user
constant ID.
input ID. Where is the user input ID? We lost it, isn't it?
Yeah, 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 right.
Where is that?
Yes.
So this ID should be Line number 24. It
This
should be
should
child.id
be
or it should be.
just ID.
Now execute your code once again.
Still undefined.
So, but if you see if condition, you have grandchild 1,
Yeah,
right? So you got it. It's just that how you are returning your data, how you are storing that data, there is some problem with that, isn't it?
right.
So in short, if you comment line number 25 at this moment, execute your code once.
Still undefined.
Reason being your results are getting overridden from the next set of data. Okay, no worries on that. No worries on that. So basically, okay, I think if you keep your result, which is not the correct thing, but you will be able to see something. So now execute your code. You see the data.
Yeah, now that works.
So somewhere you have to, or probably do one thing. Let result execute your code once again. Just execute once more.
Now
Yeah.
it's again
So
undefined.
yes, you have to understand how your data is basically stored, how we are doing it. Cool. So I think we are done with the sort of question that I have. So how was your experience?
I mean, I didn't perform well, that's for sure. The first thing is that I just whenever you give me any problem, I'm almost every time thinking that why am I nervous? Why am I nervous? That's just a problem I can't seem to solve over these years that I've been practicing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but I didn't expect these kind of questions. I was expecting some project based questions on React or something. I practiced a lot on those topics, but I definitely need to learn these things as well.
Cool. So awesome. So I think I will just pass down few feedback basically. One, I think the hints basically I was trying to give, you are able to work upon that as you are actually early stage in your career as a fresher, you are still in college. I think you are doing good. It's just that there are more improvement that can be help you, which is needed, which will help you to actually master those things. You have idea, you have understanding around the things, right? You have understanding around the concept. You are able to code, right? But again, there are hints that you should be able to pick at much faster rate. That I will suggest, right? Overall, I think it was a great experience. You are almost able to solve the problem. It's just that it could be more optimized and certain things. With that, I want everyone to share your feedback. What do you think? Like how Path basically perform, and share your solutions basically in the comment. I will love to see your solutions for all the problem statement that we have. Couple of small thing, Path, I wanted to share for the bigger audience as well, and along with you. One important thing, whenever we take any function name, right, and whenever we are taking any variable, example in the first we took I in first loop and the second loop, right, that is
Yeah,
something can create problem. So always think about how you are going to write your code for the production level. The second important thing, so as you said, hey, I was a bit nervous, I understand that generally happens when all of a sudden certain things are bombarded. Practice to break your problem into smaller chunk. Don't try to think a problem statement as it looks like. Try to break it, and then you will be able to conquer it very easily. The other set of thing, uh, as you said, I was not expecting these kind of a problem statement. Trust me, in any of the problem that even we do machine coding or React, I could have taken you a functionality where exactly same thing has to be used, right? So ultimately,
right,
one way or the other way, you have to write the code which we actually discussed today, right? You cannot skip that. Generally, what we do as a developer, when it is there to write as a React code, syntactically we write it. Whenever it come to the logical part, we say, "Hey Google, can you write me a function in order to solve this problem?" And copy and paste into a solution. And we say, "Hey, we are a great front end or the web developer," right? So that's a difference. I think. I hope that makes value.
yeah, that's right. I'll definitely practice these things as well.
Awesome. So everyone in the college, everyone who's a fresher, please share this video as much as possible and help to spread CHAKDE front-end interviews. So with that, see you again. Bye-bye. Thanks a lot, everyone.